Hi everyone, it's Dylan again from Lord of Terrain with another update. I've been doing these fairly regularly now, so I'm really getting into the swing of it a bit. I want to talk to you guys about a few things that are going on here with our little business. First of all, I'll be painting up more scenery, getting ready for the events. So this time I'm actually painting up a lava-themed set of terrain, again based on the standard set of A World Devoured. So let me give you an example. So you can see here the vent, bit of a glare there, but you can see it's got essentially it's very straightforward. It's actually a yellow contrast paint with it followed by a heavy dry brush of Troll Slayer orange, and then a light to medium dry brush of Chaos Black. And the black that's on the spines here and the rim, that's all been done with a Black Templar contrast paint. Very light grey highlights on some of this spire bit here, just to put a little bit of light on the raised edges. But yeah, generally speaking, very cool. Funny enough, kind of. I mean, it is lava, but it actually reminds me a little bit of Halloween, which is happening right now. So it's quite funny. Here's an image as well of the eggs. These turned out really cool. I mean, I like painting the set quite a lot, and obviously now that I've done this is my fourth set that I've painted. I've obviously my hands have sort of gotten used to exactly where to go, and it's speeding things up for me. But 100% like the because there's so many raised edges, it definitely makes sense to use contrast paint. Like so, I based this with white spray actually. So contrast is definitely the way to go. If I if I wanted to use extra money, I guess I probably is best on spraying it with a grey primer or a black primer first, then followed by white on top of it. Again, if you buy the set, it comes sprayed grey, so you'd be spraying a white primer on top, which is just it's so much easier than just going white on the resin. It can be a bit of a pain, but I'm saving a bit of time because I want to get these done in time for the event. But yeah, they turned out really cool. Definitely. I mean, on the table in particular, these look so good. Obviously, done really close up. You know, you can see other details that are sort of imperfect, but man, they look good on the table. And the spires, I mean, the spires. It's just what it is it's that residual yellow that's on the inside here. So just on the edge, it really makes it look like it's glowing. It has such a strong effect, and it's super weird, right? Because lava it gets darker. So on most of these sets, the tips of the spines here, they'll be a lighter color or a really bright color. Where on lava, it's the opposite. It gets darker. That it's dark, but the light is in the recesses, and it's just it's very interesting, very cool. And I'll bring up some images now on screen. So yeah, you guys should be looking at some images there of the board set out and a few of these pieces again. And what you'll notice is that it really pops, and the mat is from the Gaming Arena, which is a store based here in Melbourne. They're sort of starting up. They're going to be a really big event store. Very cool. But definitely go and check them out as well if you've got time. Or if you want to paint up a set that matches their sort of lava themed board like I have. So pretty cool. You'll also notice in some of those images that I've got the acrylic sheets down on the table. I mentioned those before, I believe. So they're essentially, again, for casual play, the set works really well. But those acrylic sheets just help a lot with more competitive play. And the reason is because currently in the current rule set, and the rule sets change all the time, the terrain will stay forever. But at the moment, you kind of need terrain that's going to act like ruins. So I'm using the acrylic sheets to outline areas on the board using the pyramids and the spines to say these are ruins. And I'll bring up another image right now. So you should be looking at a layout of the board in terms of what different terrain is designated as. And I'll be using a layout similar to this, not exactly the same. It might vary on table to table, but essentially this will be the layout for the events that I'll be running that are coming up here in Melbourne over in November. So you can see you've got the medium area terrain, which is basically the eggs. You've got the medium ruins, which are those orange ones. Those are 12 inches by 5 inches. and then you've got small rooms which are 10 by 4, and then you've got your medium area terrain, which is events, which are about 8 by 6 inches. They're a bit bigger than that. But yeah, if you look at it on the table, again, it looks really, really well covered. Unlike some of the terrain that's been used around, I mean, it's more of a cost efficiency thing. I mean, the cheapest thing you could do to get total coverage of a board is to use something like an MDF or a really thin sort of paper, and that's just the most cost effective way. Obviously, for our set, we've made it to just look really nice, and then this is secondary. But even with the secondary thought on how it will work for competitive play, you can clearly see that you get plenty of coverage. I mean, the seven ruins, essentially the seven large, medium to small ruins on the board, provide enough coverage that, as I say, a combat army, you can. Oh, there's somebody else placing an order just now for the event. You can easily just move your guys up and basically hop to the middle without being shot. So it's quite a lot of fun. I've been playing around with it a bit, and I'll probably do a few different modifications. But it just looks so good. I mean, again, here's the image again. That just blew me away when I set it all up on the table, and I'm really looking forward to doing more of them. The next set that I'll be working on is going to be ice themed, so an ice board that's got the blue and the white, so very different to the lava. It's the opposite. Instead of the orange and the red and the black, it's going to be blue and white, and it's very light, light and ice themed. It should look really great. I'm looking forward to it again. Again, I'm going to use contrast paints just to speed things up. Yeah, and that's it for the painting. Again, I'll update probably in a few days once I finish painting that set. It's only been taking me probably about 4 hours. That's from start to finish. I mean, I'm having to do a little bit of cleanup, so really, it's probably take from the step, if you were to buy the terrain set, about 3.5 hours to paint the whole thing. So it's quite fast. I mean, it's faster than most boards I've ever done, and I think it's just because the terrain works so well with contrast or washes and dry brush, because there's so many raised areas. If you just a dry brush pops instantly on all of it, and it's because this alien themed terrain has just got all these little ridges everywhere. So it's not a flat wall where you've got to paint it and get rid of streaks. This thing's just everything seeps in, and then a dry brush just makes it all pop. So that's been really fun. I should have made it a selling point actually early on, but yeah, it's worked really well, and it's been heaps of fun. The next point is the events. So I've got one event currently up, and when this video comes out, there should be a second one. So I've got one on the 19th at Gaming Portal for 1,000 points over one day, so 3 rounds, and another one is going to pop up as well, only for 12 people, not 16, at the. Let me see what I've got here at. Gamingverse, which is now located in the CBD of Melbourne. So again, these are both pretty small events. I mean, 16, 12 people one day. The first event has been selling really fast. Obviously, people want to come play, and it's relatively cheap to come there for the day and do that. But if you do miss out, and it's quite possible you will, because a lot of people are interested in playing, and I do plan to do more. I'm going to do at least one more one day, 1,000 points somewhere else in Melbourne. I'm trying to spread it out so that sort of I get around to different people across the city. And then I'll probably do a 2-day, 2,000 points as well. Give that a go. I might limit it to 4 rounds though. So it'd be a bit of a cheaper event to go to for 2 days compared to the others that are out there. So I want to keep the price down, so it's just not a big hassle for people. And I'm also thinking of doing a 1 or 2 day kill team event. Now, that'll require a bit of modification. I'll probably have to make some hills to add a bit more height to the board, because in kill team, they do want some areas that are raised. So essentially, imagine rock formations that I just sit things on. So very basic things just to sort of literally elevate some of the terrain to provide a bit more height to it. But I've got to play around with that a bit more, that idea, before I sort of jump into it. But that'll be happening, first quarter of next year, I believe. Yeah, so those are the 2 events. If you're interested in attending an event like that, just let me know in the comments. I'm quite curious to know if anybody's based in Melbourne and what their thoughts are on those sorts of events, and what they prefer to do. That's an interesting one about, do people have the time to do 2-day events, or is one day even too much for them? So That's interesting to me. Um, Apart from that, like I said, I'll just be working on the new sets and painting them up, and yeah, trying to get them out as quickly as possible. Obviously, they'll be ready for the events on the 19th, but that second event will be on the 25th of November, so the weekend after. And after that, like I said, we'll be into the new year, probably with events. Probably won't do any in December at this stage. Yeah, so yeah, thanks very much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed all the pictures and a bit of an update. Cheers.